In today's lesson, we're going to find slope when given 2 points. Now, during our lesson today, we're going to be working with a formula, but before we learn that formula, I want us to graph these 2 points. Our first point is 2, 2, which is here. And our second point is 1, -2, which is here. And these are our x values and y values for our coordinates. Now, when we go to calculate the slope of this line, we are looking at the rise, 1, 2, 3, 4, rise over run. It rose 4, and it runs 1. So this has a slope of 4. Now let's figure out what we're doing when we are calculating the rise. The rise is the difference between this value and this value, or the difference between my y's. And then my run from here to here is my difference between my x values, the 1 and the 2, which are here and here. So what we're doing when we are calculating rise over run is we are finding the difference in the y's and putting that over the difference of the x's. Calculating our change in y, or our rise, and our change in x, which is our run. Math is all about efficiency, and we don't want to have to graph these every single time. So we have pulled a formula from what we've been doing on those graphs. So on the graphs, we've been calculating the rise, which is the difference of the y's, and putting that over the run, which is the difference in the x's. Now, the key to using this formula is to be sure to label your points correctly. So I have my first point, and then I have my second point. When I go to put them into the formula, I look at my y2 minus my y1, and I put that over x2 minus x1. -2 subtract 2 is -4, and 1 subtract 2 is -1. And -4 divided by -1 gives me a +4 for my slope, just like we got when we graphed the 2 points. Here's our first example that we're going to be putting into our notes. We have 2 points. We have our first point, so x1, y1, and our second point, x2, y2. I'm going to write my formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and then I substitute my numbers in. That's 4 minus 3 over 6 minus 2. That gives me a slope of 1/4. So I've determined my rise, or my change in y's, over my x, or over my run, which is a change in x values, giving me a slope of 1/4. For example 2, we're going to use some negatives. It doesn't change our strategy of labeling our points and writing our formula, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. I subtract those numbers after I substitute them in. So for y2, it's -5 minus my y1, which is -3. I put that over x2 minus x1. I have those double signs that I'll simplify over 2 plus 1, giving me -2 over 3 for my slope. Here's one for you to try. Pause the video, try it on your own, and play and check and see if you got it right. Ready? I start by labeling my points, x1, y1, x2, y2. And then I write my formula down that I'm going to be substituting these numbers in for. For y2, that's a -4 minus my y1, which is -2, over x2 minus x1. I have some double signs here. I simplify them. That double negative gives me a positive. And negative 11 minus negative 7 is negative 11 plus 7, giving me a final answer of negative 2 over negative 4, which simplifies to a positive 1/2 because I had a negative divided by a negative, giving me a positive.